Hey, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on when you're watching this video. Happy New Year to you all. Thank you very much for watching my videos. If you do on a regular basis, if you don't and you're new to it, welcome. Hope you enjoy what I've got to say. But this is just my opinion, just so as everybody's clear. There is a lot, when you watch football and you watch interviews afterwards and so on and so forth, there is a lot of comments that are made regularly, football sayings and so on. And one of them that we've heard a lot of this season, certainly from Tottenham players, is we learn from it, we move on, and that kind of stuff. Well, another one that you hear quite often is teams that win ugly, that get a result even when they're not playing well. It's a sign of a really good team. Sign of champions, that kind of stuff. And that's been used a lot over the last day. Watching the football yesterday, a lot of people were saying, it's a good sign if you can win ugly, or if you can win when you're not playing well, blah, blah, blah. It's a good sign. For me personally, and I watched the game, without any commentary. Unfortunately, I wasn't at the game, and I watched it on my phone on a stream, as you do these days. And so I didn't watch it with any commentary, because I find that commentary does sway you a certain bit, as to whether you think you're playing well or playing bad, or this player or that player or whatever. So I try to watch it as much without commentary as I can. Because it's like being in the stadium and you're making up your own mind, especially if you're going to give your views about it in a video like I am a day later. But I have to say, from my personal perspective, watching the game, and as I say, this is just my opinion, I don't think we played badly. I didn't think we played, lucky football or, ugly football or anything of that nature. I felt that we played fairly well. There was an intensity about the play. There was a desire about the players. And sometimes in fits and starts, there was some good passing and movement off the ball. And I thought, this is good. This is better. This is fluid. It's moving. You could see the intensity that the players are trying to get to. And I guess my only concern really when I was watching it was we're having so much of the game and we're having so many opportunities that if we don't put one in the back of the net, then the likelihood is that Watford would come and score a goal against a run of play, or a penalty, or something from a corner or whatever, and all that good work, hard work will have gone to waste. But I didn't feel that they were a threat at all, to be honest with you. I mean, I know they had a couple of opportunities, but it didn't really feel like it was ever in doubt, I guess, that we were going to get something from the game. And as the game went on, I thought, yeah, draw. We're going to get a draw, not what we want. And everyone's going to be saying, you've got to beat teams like Watford. They've lost 7 or 8, whatever it is, on the bounce and so on. But unfortunately, in football, you never know what's going to happen, right? Every team that's in the Premier League deserves to be in the Premier League. They work their way through, they got there. And every team, at some point, will have a freak result, a good result. I mean, yesterday, looking at it, Arsenal were 1-0 up against Man City. I haven't watched that game, I've got to be honest, right? But all the feedback that I've seen and that is that they were playing particularly well and so on. And in the end, it could have gone in their favour. It didn't, luckily for us. Happy days. Man City do what Man City do, and they did get the result. Now, that is a team maybe that wins when they're not playing well and so on. But they have got that depth in their squad to be able to change things or whatever. Anyway, I digress. So for me, I felt that we were doing okay, and any team can beat any team. There can be freak results that happen, and so I was thinking, well, we don't play particularly well away from home anyway. We haven't done particularly well. But if we get away, we don't lose. It's another unbeaten game. And then, of course, Big Dave gets a header right at the death, smash and grab, gets the 3 points. Hallelujah, happy days. Move on. 2 points with 2 games in the hand behind Arsenal. Everything's looking a lot better. And overall, I guess we deserved the win. We had more intensity, we had more play, we had more opportunities. I guess the biggest concern for me in terms of the overall play was more about the fact that everything was going to the right. That concerned me. We didn't seem to be getting anything coming in from the left at all. Everything seemed to be going out to the right to Emerson to cross the ball in. And I'm still not convinced that his crossing is the greatest. And we've had a couple of really good results from that, but not enough for me. I'd like to see him actually go past people more often, or if it's gonna be played to him by a player, rather than it going straight back, you need the other player to go overlapping. To give him that opportunity. Whether that's Mora or whether that's Big Dave or whatever, that someone's going to overlap and give him that opportunity to get beyond. So for me, it was a little bit predictable, and I think that's why Watford kind of got the measure of us and were able to sustain us for so long. They were very deep, compact, working really hard for each other to try to stop this run of bad results that they're having. And it almost works, But we're fickle, aren't we, fans? We're really fickle. I've read contrasting tweets and comments and stuff about the game, and I think some people we go on a good run and we get some good results. We win a few games and so on, and all of a sudden we're all feeling super over the moon, super positive, everything's going to be all right, everything's rosy in the garden, Kante's doing a fantastic job, he's turned these players around, blah, blah, blah. And then you have a poor result or a poor couple of results, Southampton and almost yesterday with Watford. And then you've got people going, what's he doing? We definitely need to change the players. They ain't good enough and blah, blah. And yet 2 weeks ago we were saying, what a difference in Winks or what a difference in Delhi or whoever, So we are really fickle. And I guess the truth lies somewhere in the middle of all of that, right? I think, we definitely need some new blood. Definitely, absolutely, clear as day. But Kante is doing a good job with the players that he's got. He's managed to get us on a run of 8 games now unbeaten or something, 9 games unbeaten. Some clean sheets in there, 5 or 4, whatever it is, clean sheets, and a couple of draws, 3 draws or something, 5 wins, whatever it is. I'm not a stats man, you can tell that, right? But I've seen it. I've seen it written, and you can obviously see all that stuff. But it's a decent run. It's a good run. I'm just hoping he doesn't win Manager of the Month or something, because that's always a curse. Look what happened to Nuno. On 1 minute he's flying 3 games winning, next minute he's down in the doldrums and he's on his way out the door. So anyway, I think the truth lies somewhere in the middle of both of these situations. In that we have to recognise that some of the players are not the quality that we want that are going to get us into the top 4. They're not, and we need to replace, or we need to replenish, the squad to give us that continuity. But what is clear to me is that Ndombele does not have a future. Absolutely, if he cannot get into that team, at all. Even when, over the last 2 games, we've all said that we're crying out for creativity because everything's just coming from the width and essentially all just down the right. So that's clear to me that, he just does not fancy him. And if Pochettino, Mourinho, Nuno and Kante are all not picking him, then that tells you that there is something terribly wrong. And it's such a shame for such a young guy, such a talented guy to not achieve anything. Now he'll probably go on to a different team, and he'll probably be a beast and really do something special. And if that's the case, then good luck to him. Just disappointed that he couldn't do it for us. But it's clear to me, when you've got Højbjerg and Skip, and then you're changing Skip for Winks, there is no creativity in that. And I didn't think that we needed Højbjerg in the end. For me personally, I'd have probably gone with Ndombele, to be honest with you, towards the end of that game, just to see if he could pick a pocket, do something with it. Not to be, but that's because obviously they don't fancy him, they don't trust him, and I don't blame them, because I've been calling it. I think he's done, and I've said it for quite a while. It was good to see Lo Celso come back. I think he's getting an awful lot of bad press, and I understand it. I understand it absolutely, because the guy's seems to be so injury prone. It's ridiculous. But he is Lamella-esque in the fact that he will go in for a challenge. He will try and make something happen. He needs to get his fitness, and he needs to get a run to really judge him as to how good he could be or not. But maybe it's time to just go, you know what, cut your losses, let him go somewhere else, because some players are just not Premier League level, and that's it. So, good to see him back, good to see him get a chance, because I think, Kante is trying to assess the squad, he's trying to see, he's trying to be fair, he's trying to freshen things up with what he's got. But clear as day, we need some action in the transfer market. Personally, I don't think you'll get that much. I think we'll be disappointed in this transfer window. I think January is a really difficult time. Cost of players goes up massively, especially if they know you're desperately looking for them. So cost of players goes up massively, and you don't want to just throw money at it for the sake of it. Get in this one, get in that one. You want to get in the quality in the positions that you actually need cover. And for me, number one, I've said it a few times on different pods, got to be a creative midfielder. We desperately need someone who's going to unlock these stubborn, deep-lying defences. Someone who's going to give us a different outlet than just bombing up the right and perhaps up the left. Just to give us that little bit. And if we can get another striker in that's going to give the opportunity to go for a 2 up top or whatever, or to allow Harry to come that little bit deeper. And I know lots of people will say to me, he's an out-and-out striker, he should be out-and-out striker, he should be in the box all the time. However, if you really watch Harry Kane, you will see how much he can bring in that number 10, in that bit of a deeper role. His passing is amazing. It is really good. His vision's great. He knows where the strikers need to be, because he is a striker. So he knows where to play the ball and so on. A little bit like Rooney did at Man United, where he dropped that little bit deeper, and anyway, it's an argument for another day, and like I said at the beginning of this video, it's just my opinion, right? So I think Harry Kane is an exceptional footballer, and I think he could probably play in most positions, to be fair, because he has such a good footballing brain. And it's not quite working for him as a striker at the moment. He's not getting the opportunities. Hopefully, with a creative midfielder, that might change. But only time's going to tell on that. But as for yesterday, overall, I was fairly happy with the game. I thought we played okay. Don't think we played brilliantly, obviously, but we got the result, and that's all that matters. We get the 3 points. We keep pushing on. We keep moving. We keep grinding out the results. We haven't played any major teams in that period. We've got some tricky opposition coming up. It's almost like a Chelsea month. We've got the Gooners in between, which will be a real decider as to where we're getting with that, because it will show where we are, and it will show the passion and desire amongst the players who wants it more. Do we want to get there? Do we want to beat these teams? Do we want to put our rivals to the test? And fingers crossed, there's no more COVID scenarios that we have to worry about, where we can't go to the game, or it's limited fans or whatever, because this will be the first North London derby at the stadium where fans will be in, if it stays as it is. And I'm desperate to get there, desperate to see it. So obviously season ticket, I'll be there if I can, but it's just down to the government now to decide, and I'm sure I'm sure they're trying not to, but you just never know. It's a few weeks away yet, and we'll see what comes out of it. So anyway, that's my end of my rambling. Apologies for dragging it on for 15 minutes, but that's my views. That's what I think about the game yesterday. Hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll speak to you again after the next game. Up the Spurs.